morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is 8:05 a.m. and you are listening to Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. And we've got a great interview today. We're going to do a lot of learning. We have a dedicated, thoughtful, caring public servant, and that trail of superlatives can lead to only one person, Miss Mary Fultz of the Community Advocacy Awareness Network. Hey, it's happening. Good to see you this morning. All right, so we got a lot to talk about. As you guys know, we do the news first for you. There's a bunch of stuff going on in the city. Chief among the things I want to talk to you guys about is the applications for the Community Review Board are online and able to be accessed. You have to go to the city's website to do that, and we'll be posting the link for you guys on Facebook and Instagram today as well. Keep in mind that there are criteria to be met for all applicants. The list of criteria is on the city's website as well. Our friends of the Aurora Rapid Response Team and others have passed that information on. Please take a look at that, and if you're interested, please apply. All right. Wesley and Flowing Forth United Methodist Churches, Temple Nah Israel, New England Congregational Church, and Art Bar Art Gallery, all in Aurora, are hosting Light Up the Night, Candlelight and Community from 6 to 6:30 p.m. Monday, December 21st, using the hashtag Aurora Light Up. Community organizations, faith communities, nonprofits, and neighborhoods are invited to pick a location, bring candles, and stand together in unity and silence for 30 minutes. Shout out to all of those faith-based organizations for all the good work they do. Arta had their second drive-through box dinner sale yesterday, and it was great from what I hear. The fanfare for the Greek chicken and fettuccine alfredo was through the roof, so shout out to whoever cooked that.
Sounds tasty.
It does sound tasty. Could we get a plate, though? Y'all got plates? Y'all got leftovers? Holla at ya, Arta. Founded in 1958, Arta is a local nonprofit comprising 370 former educators from Aurora. Very cool. Shouts to them. Gazebo at Millennium and the Star Mundy Park are being staged for free holiday photos. December 5th coming up is the next day for those photos. Socially distanced photos are first come, first serve, and will be available for download as well. Shout out to Aurora Downtown. You can find out more information about that and their location details at auroradowntown.org. All right, now check this out. Shout outs to Josh Schultz, Jen Ingram Art, Cottonseed Creative Exchange. There's a lot of new artwork going up on all the windows, particularly Broadway. Yesterday, Josh Schultz put a cool Star Wars themed Christmas scene on some windows on Downer Place. So check that out when you get a chance. If you're walking around, get your coffee, go on the Treadwell, and tell them that Good Morning Aurora sent you. You dig? You know, you won't get no discount, but you know they'll know you woke and you listen to the show. Right? You know, get your little cappuccino or something and check out the artwork. It's a very positive, nice thing to see. It's good to see some color, and it's really good to see something positive going on in the city. So shouts out to all the artists. All right, and Saturday the 19th, Faith Lutheran Church is having their annual church nativity scene. During the performance, visitors are invited to join the choir and sing traditional carols. There's a petting zoo after that with hot chocolate and cookies. The public is invited. Admission, parking, and refreshments are free. Shout out. And I got something else to tell you about our friends. Oh, hold on one more second here. Call for speakers. Share a project, technique, or subject of interest at one of the monthly meetups for the Aurora Public Art Commission. The Aurora Arts Alliance is looking for people who have a skill and want to display it and teach others how to do it. So I'm going to post this on our page. You guys can see that. Take advantage of it. And if you know any artists or you yourself are an artist, please take part. All right. The Elf Behind the Shelf. Kane County Sheriff's Office is hosting Elf Behind the Shelf, a drive that allows you to help those in need from behind the scenes. All donations go to Pads of Elgin and Mutual Grounds Domestic Violence Shelter. Now this goes, it started the 23rd of last month and it goes to the 21st of this month. Lots of items needed, including toys, silverware, trash bags, used jewelry, gift cards, hygiene products, baby socket covers, and etc. Questions or concerns about the event, you can contact the County of Kane, call 630-208-2041. And the drop box is located in the main entrance of the King County Sheriff's Office in St. Charles. Shout out St. Charles and all of that. All right. And now, right. Raheem, what up? Shout out. He was on the show.
Was he?
Yeah, he came on the show one of our early episodes. So shout out. We gotta get him back. All right. LDJ Cleaning Professionals, specializing in commercial, residential, and disinfectant cleaning, serving Aurora and the Quad Counties with over 20 years experience in the professional cleaning industry. We offer they offer the famous Make Ready service, post-construction cleaning, window cleaning, floor maintenance, disinfectant cleaning, and general office cleaning. The home that you worked so hard to produce, to purchase, the business that you always dreamed of owning, they're honored to provide their service to you. Hire a true professional. Call them at 630-291-5435 or visit the website www.ldjcleaning.com. Yep. All right. And that is all for the news today. So now we get into our interview with our friend of the show, Mary. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, actually.
Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you guys, too. Thanks for having me.
No doubt. We got a lot of things to talk about. So we're going to learn about the CAAN Network, and we'll talk about Aurora as well. Before the people who may not know who you are, please let them know who you are and where you're from.
Okay, so my name is Mary Fultz. My last name is Fultz, is in Zebra, and I am a birthed here in Aurora resident.
All right.
Okay, I don't know where to go from here. Who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I am, born and raised here in Aurora. In 2002, I was blessed to be able to start coming out into the community, into vacant lots, and doing events with children with cookies and juice. And that just happened to be my heart, being a mother of the neighborhood, and I picked it up from my mom.
So you're born and raised here in Aurora?
Born and raised here in Aurora, yes.
Growing up, what impact did your dad have in your life?
Well, that is a slippery slope because my father wasn't in my life when I was younger. I didn't meet my dad until I was about 12, seen him one time, and didn't meet him again until the age of 38. So my father wasn't in my life, but we have a beautiful relationship now. And actually, a part of CAAN, relates to that, where there's children that don't have the fathers in the home, coming from single-parent homes. But my mom, she raised us as a single parent, and there was 5 of us, and that was hard for her. So she went outside and got other organizations or people, even our life insurance person we had back then, Jim Ahern, who passed away now, became mentors in our life, the male figures in our life. And so we had a lot of daddies. Bishop William Bonner, who passed away, he was our godfather, there in the neighborhood. So we looked up to him, as a father figure. So I had a lot of positive male role models, even without my father in my life.
Right.
Okay, so but with him in my life now at 38, took a trip, went down, found him with my aunt, and just the love of being able to find him and having him in my life, even at the age of 38, meant something to me. So when I deal with some of these young people that don't have the fathers, or some of the parents that come to me, with issues with their kids, especially the boys, I can relate to that because I had 3 young men that are now grown men. And boy, the trials and that you go through being a single mom, lady with boys, is something.
So even though not having your dad in your life, you were able to see the value in family and people who don't have a dad understand their struggle. That's important.
And never lose that love connection, no matter how long you're disconnected.
Right.
Once you get connected, there's something there, that you can take away from that, and you can share with other people, especially the younger generation. And being honest, I have a lot of people, male figures in my life, including my own brother, sibling, that did time like in prison. And even that separation, like as a positive male in the family, and then with that separation, something was taken away. But then when he would come home, there was such a connection and a love that was brought back. And even to hear him say all the way in jail that he would hear of things I was doing here in the community, I was like, really? Who, me? You know? So, and that was like in 2011. So that just gave me the spirit, you know, to keep moving in the direction that God has me.
How important is family to you?
Oh, family. That's easy for me. What my hat says, love. And with that same love I carry from my family, and I'm going to be honest here because my kids know I raised them up to be like this, is that family to me kind of takes away that friend scenario. If to say that you're my friend, you have to be family. And that's just the way that I've lived life. And like when my mom raising us up, she'd always say that you don't have friends, your books are your friends. And so that kind of gave you that plug to education. Always put education before wanting to go out and party or hang out, you know, and kick it or whatever. Because friends can lead you wrong. And if you stick with your education and the books, you know, that's a love. And then with that, you can integrate that into family. And then you can all raise up together. So with family, like in the community, I have so many community goddaughters and godsons. And unfortunately, some of my friends that would have been in school that mom said we couldn't have as friends, they were associates. So their children became under my tutelage. And this is the really trickery of it, is that unless something happened in their family, I didn't even know that those children belonged to people that I went to school with. So I got acquainted with the children without even knowing who their parents was because I had 5 children. So with each level, each age, you had a different group of kids. And so they all became, you know, we all became family. And so growing up, when my mom partied or did whatever, and I became the nurturer in our family, that I nurtured other children in the family.
You're the oldest
right there on
siblings?
King Street. I have one older brother.
Okay.
And I was oldest here. He went away and went to the Army. So by him going away, that left me to be the oldest. And the truth is, I didn't do parties, if people know me, parties, football games, basketball games. I was missing from all of that because I became the nurturer in our family when we went to a single parent home. When my mom worked, you know, when I did stuff. Part of our life, you know, was kind of shaky there, and I had to give up all of that to be able to be that nurturer there in the house because we did not have that father figure in the home.
You grew up on Cain Street.
I grew up on King Street right here in Aurora on the east side.
What's the difference between Cain Street of when you were a kid and Cain Street now? How's Aurora changed?
Whew. Okay, so now we're getting into... I'll tell you this right here, and I've said it because, you know, I was at most of this listening sessions that happened. And one of the things is that when we grew up in Aurora, on the east side of Aurora, back then you didn't even have curving. You had street signs only going one way or whatever. Some streets that had no signs, whatever, you know, it was kind of, you know, go as you know, you had to figure it out. So with that, you know, curving and street signs and things, you know, that's good. When you go into what the community was like back then, being a child being raised up on Cain Street, it was good and bad. At certain points, depending on what year you were in, it was terrible. So luckily and unluckily, I got to be a part of, or my family got to be a part of, knowing the good, the bad, the ugly. We got to see it come back to being good again. And so what we see now is so much better than what it was back then. But if you go back when we were younger, like going to Oak Park School, oh, we were kids. You know, hey, we're just having fun. We're out there lollygagging, basketball, whatever was going on.
Y'all ain't seeing what's happening, right?
Yes,
right.
You know, so, you know, we were kids. But then as you start to grow up and get in those teenage years, you start to, your whole mind thought process changes. And then you start to really look into what's really going on in your community. Right. And so then you start to see, because come on, in the 90s, it was terrible here, the gangs and everything. And it was so terrible back then where that they put a command center right behind where my mom lives, the apartment buildings between, you got Cain Street and you got Trash Street. And there's apartments right behind there. We call them the Al Kennedy apartments. They were Bill Morrell back then. But anyway, there was a big blue bus back there. And they put a command center back there because how bad it was there. And even back then, it was so terrible that you had people that didn't want the command center there that came and tried to set it on fire. Right. You know, and we were kids growing up and watching this stuff unfold. And come on, thinking as little kids, you know, back then you wanted to grow up, you wanted to be a police officer, a fireman. You know, you rarely wanted to be a doctor. you know. And so it was like, why are they doing this to the police? Because we're little kids. But as you started to grow up as a teenager, you started to, you know, pay attention to more to the news and see what's really going on in your community and stuff. And I'm gonna tell you something positive that's now that we didn't have back then. Even as a teenager years, I graduated in 1983. You didn't have back then the connect from like the alderman. You didn't know politics. You didn't know what was going on. You know what an alderman meant. You didn't follow what a mayor's duties was or the mayor's job, you know, things. But you didn't know that stuff because they didn't teach us that stuff. So we were just busy being kids. So again, going back to the good, the bad, and the ugly, I would say it's better now in the community than it was back then for sure. Can we do better? Of course we can. Do we need to do better? Of course we can. And how do we do that? We got to come together and make it happen. It's just that simple.
What does CAAN stand for? Let's get into the network.
CAAN stands for you can do anything that you want to do. Let's start with the C. The C in CAAN means community. Everyone in the community can be a part here. Advocacy. We advocate on behalf of other organizations. We promote businesses, especially promoting small businesses. Awareness. We make people aware of already existing programs, whether it's, you know, needs, awareness, you know, regardless of what it is. And network. We network with most anyone. I mean, doesn't matter. We've done so many partnerships in the last few years. I was absent for 3 years because I had a stroke, and that was in 2015. So I came back in 2018, being totally open and honest. I had no plans to come back. I was done. You know, I had put so much stress on my body, you know, that I was just done. But then, by the grace of God, He lifted me back up, and here we are now doing Community Advocacy Awareness Network, CAAN, which now is a not-for-profit, in 2018. We went ahead and did the paperwork and everything to do that, because coming back, everything that you could even be a part of, you have to have a not-for-profit. However, with CAAN, we're still doing it the way that God gave it to me. We're still reaching out to just regular people in the community who want a platform to give back. So we did a coat drive. We gave out over 400 coats that were donated. No grants, no money from nowhere. So God bless everyone in the community that gave out to that coat drive.
I saw it. Looked good.
Did you? Yes.
Congratulations.
We're actually forming another one right now. I just did the flyer this morning.
Props.
So we're going to collect coats from December the 3rd until December the 10th. We need more kids' coats. Last time we had more kids' coats and lesser adult coats. This time we got more adult coats and lesser kids' coats.
Right.
So we need like from babies going on up. So that'll be our second annual. And that's where the partnership comes in with CAAN. We were able to partner with Mary Fultz over at Aurora High School. And we were outside. It was cold. We can't do that again. So this time we're going to do it over at Java Plus over on Montgomery Road.
Shout out.
So shout out to Mike, because Mike, oh God bless him so much. He's holding our turkeys and hopefully our hams. It's going to be for our Unity dinner. Okay. We were supposed to do the Unity dinner in November. There was so much going on and so many people doing the same things that one thing about us is that we believe in partnering. We don't believe in reinventing the wheel. Even if it's something that we already have set up, if you have 10 people doing the same things, we'll back off and do it at a different time.
Right.
Because the same event that you're doing right then, it can be used in another month. If everyone's doing the same event, 10 events at the same time, promoting the same thing, you get to the next month, there's nobody doing it.
Yeah, that's not fresh. That ain't fly. Yeah. No. Right. Yeah, y'all can have a little fun.
Yeah.
We're going to, we'll hit you.
Yeah.
See you next month.
We like to do things, where there's that need.
Right.
And so normally Unity dinner again is normally in November. You've been there. We do it at the Prisco Center. Last year, 2019, was the biggest one we ever done. We served almost 1,000 people.
Huge shouts, large shout outs, big shouts. Shouts to the rooftop. Yes, no doubt.
And we honor our veterans there.
No doubt.
We've been missing so much because of this whole coronavirus. And the COVID that the transitioning that we've been doing has been a little stressful, to be honest. But the more we do this drive-through, we were blessed to do the drive-through, the graduation drive-through over at Aurora High School.
Yeah, I remember that.
We did that, and what we did different in that was it's our first time doing it, of course, is that we did it for anyone that graduated, whether it was preschool, kindergarten, It didn't matter, 8th grade, that we just wanted everyone that was promoted to be a part of it. And that actually came about with the kids. We didn't come to do an event for that. We had no plans. We had, we organized it. And like with me, I've been blessed to be an organizer. When I talk about in the community, when we were raised up and I took the kids under my wing, I look at that. I took the same toolage and came now, and I can use that while we're promoting bigger events. The same, skills I had then that I didn't know that's what they were.
Right.
I was a child. And so now I just use those same skills that I did then, helping the kids and bringing us together. And, when our mom's party, we had the American Legion down the street on Cain Street, that I would get the kids together. We'd be at the park, the little 7-Eleven on Plain Street. We get, snacks and everything. We sit down there, we eat stuff, we let them go party, do their thing. And we did our thing. You know what that was? That was the unity that I still believe in today. There was unity back then, and as a child, and that same unity instilled, and bringing that out into the community years later. And the thing about it is, I'm gonna be honest here, because my kids will probably see this in the room, is that my kids weren't happy with what I was doing when I first got out there, because I came from being a homebody. I came from being a cancer survivor. And when I went through having the cancer, I had 5 kids. And this is the part where you better not cry. That when I talk about this, some of my motivational speaker events, is that during that time, even though I had 5 kids, I kind of gave up on life. I didn't want my kids to see me grow like that. I lost all my hair, less than 100 pounds. Here recently, my family is going through something with my brother, that's in a coma. He's been in a coma about 6-7 weeks now. And that made me go through pictures, and I found the pictures of what I went through suffering with the cancer, forgetting how I was healed. And because of that, in 2002 is when I started to heal. I started to go out and see the need in the community with the kids and everything. And I was just a motherly, we want to say like a motherly fit-in, I guess. A motherly shoe-in, for the kids that were just out there. The gangs were bad and everything. But when I look back at those pictures and I look at how far God had brought me from that, and how I wanted to give up. And so when you have organizations like Simple Destiny, Happy Thoughts, that are suicide awareness programs, I can relate to that, because I went there. I wanted to go there, but I couldn't because of my spiritual belief that if you kill yourself, you can't ask God for forgiveness. So you got to live this life out. And after then, I was able to pull it back together, get out there and do what God wanted me to be doing. And at the time, I didn't realize what I was doing. I'm just in the parking lot, vacant lots with cookies and juice and giving the kids a safe haven. That's what it was all about. So if something happened, if you had teenager kids that could be identified as, the white t-shirt, the blue jeans, or whatever at the time is what one of the identifiers was with the police to the gangs and stuff. But we had just normal kids that just had blue jeans and t-shirts that were kids that weren't in trouble, kids going to school, that could get mixed up in the other stuff that was going on. So with that being said, I had to think back on when I wanted to give up on life. And what it was, people heard me say it many times, is that once I gave up on wanting to die, God allowed me to live. And with that, with him allowing me to live, he gave me what CAAN is. And CAAN was never supposed to be a name. It was not supposed to be an organization. So me being a director and the founder, I don't run it like it's an organization, because it's all coming out of here. Don't believe in titles. They say you got to put a name to it. This thing is like big. Then before you knew it, we were doing events right there on Cain Street. Something that was absent for like 16 or whatever years it was. And when we did that, it didn't come lightly, because it had been so terrible over there, in that area. It's a high-risk area, that people weren't doing events and stuff like we were little kids. I'm not going to remember her name now, but she used to live there in the house across from the Keystone Lodge. Alice, I think her name was Alice, whatever her name was. She used to do events there and stuff and deal with the aldermen and stuff, which we didn't know what alder person was back then. But going back to, man, we said Black Power, let's see if they'll let us do that again. So it was a learning process, and it was stressful.
Right.
And it was a struggle, because here we are, just normal people in the community that want to come back and do something that was done for us as children. we want to give that back, you know, in the neighborhood where I grew up at, right there on CAAN Street. So that block party did happen. It was a lot of strings to pull, but it did happen, and it went off great, you know, and everyone was just so happy. And then that's when God said, okay, now you're going to stay in this. I'm giving you your health. Next thing you know, I end up getting in some other health struggles. I'm not going to mention everything, but some other health struggles. And again, I wanted to give up, but I had to remember. I always remember, and I'm going to die like this. I'm always going to remember what God brought me from with that cancer. No hair, less than 90 pounds, wanting to die. But as soon as I gave up wanting to die, He allowed me to live. He allowed me to live. And for that, I have a commitment to God. And that commitment is that I will be a servant for Him, however He wants to use me. And so that's why the titles don't mean nothing to someone like me. It has to be about that relationship that I have with Him. I made a commitment with Him, and I have to see that through. I have to.
If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have had a turkey for Thanksgiving.
If it wasn't for me,
because I actually didn't, I'm a single young brother and all the luster of Thanksgiving with the fixings and then all that, personally, I was feeling Chinese food for the night, but I was talking to a friend about this, but it's not about me. It's about my son. Okay. Sometimes kids need to they need to see the nice overflowing, they need to see the tradition of it, the turkey with the yams and all that. I had a sweet potato pie. I had a sweet potato pie, but I had no turkey. So you know what I'm saying? Our brother was really just off that. And I was like, man, F it. You know what I'm saying? I don't need no turkey. But no, I appreciated it. You know what I'm saying? I did appreciate that. So that was that was good for me to be able to have that traditional meal. And it was kind of like a emotional thing too. Like, you know what? I really, no, it's not for me. It's about having a traditional, nice, Thanksgiving meal for and with my son. You know what I'm saying? So that was big. I appreciate that. The time is now 8:32 a.m. and you are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. And we are glad to be joining and interviewing Miss Mary Fultz of the CAAN Network. Okay. So with the exception, besides CAAN Street and in particular the east side of Aurora, in Aurora as a whole city, what's the biggest change you've seen in your time being here?
The biggest change that I've seen? From being a kid to now?
Whole life.
The biggest change, my whole life, the biggest change that I've seen. I guess I have to ask you, which way you want me to go with this?
Anyway, the first way you're thinking of right now. The thing that you're thinking about right now.
To be honest, I personally, even though there's so many organizations, and things going on, it's not for profit, I don't see that, and this is just me being honest, I don't see that unity, that love that I seen as a child. I don't see that we're coming together the way that I seen things back then. And some people probably say, well, how come just because there's a lot of organization doesn't mean that unity.
Oh, sure.
It's a lot of, I, then that you get back into that title thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of places to eat, but they ain't no restaurants. Yeah, right.
Oh, well, you were like, okay, let's go here. Let's talk about downtown Aurora then.
Nope, kick it off. Word up.
Let's go there, okay? So the unity thing is one thing, because that's where my heart is, because, I'm a giver. But when you look at the Aurora as a whole, we look at downtown, I can remember the Gaylords, SS Cressy, places like that, whatever, downtown Aurora. The buses, we got on the buses right here on Broadway. It was down here, closer to Benton and everything. We had buses here. And when you think about what downtown was then, all the stores and, the different department stores and stuff that you had. We even had a Walgreens downtown Aurora. and all that's gone. So seeing so many buildings are vacant or not enough patrons, patronizing the businesses that are downtown, I see that missing big time. Even when River Edge came, like it's way down the street, and that's in place for events. But it would be nice to see the people patronize all the time. Now, first Fridays, of course, you get a lot of people that come down.
Right.
Right. But that's one time every month. So hats off to downtown Aurora for doing that. But when you really look at it, we're missing development businesses where we have them, but we could use more. And so with that being said, I would like to personally see more programs, workshops, and that's something you have to pay for. I know Brandy Gillian, they're doing like the small businesses, bringing those workshops, trying to get them out there. Hats off to Brandy and Sadiq, trying to get that going. But we need more of that. It's kind of hard because of the coronavirus, but they found a way to do it where it's all on Zoom and it's open.
Right.
So if we could get more workshop and seminars, to help build businesses or get people. But see, when we say to help build businesses, people think because you do a workshop and you tell them information, no, you got to follow them along the way. It's just like going to school. So if you were in college, you have a teacher, you have an instructor. It would be, I think our business will grow more if we have more workshops or something like that, helping people along the way, all the way to the end of the process. I think that would be very beneficial.
What's the biggest change that, let me start over actually. How has COVID-19 and the pandemic affected your life and the activities of CAAN?
Oh, wow. Well, for starters, we ended up without a location, because of the COVID. And we've been very blessed never to have to pay for a location. We've always had them in kind to us.
Right.
So, of course, the churches, we had different churches that allow us to use, their place of business. And, of course, everything got shut down. We had one church, Pastor Dove's church, that was in a warehouse. And of course, because of COVID, you had to shut that down. So that's been a big hit for us but then that's where Mike from Java Plus comes in at. He's been very, very, oh my God, he opened his doors whether we were doing, regardless of what we were doing. You run it by Mike, and Mike said, sure, Mary, let's do it. All the way down to a chili cook-off, that we were able to do it. So
chili and coffee?
Yeah, no.
Damn,
But and actually, I was the winner. They gave it to somebody that had some caramel stuff on top. Okay, I got to put that out there. But I was really the winner, though.
Okay, word up.
But anyway, I lost my thought on the chili thing. I did. I'm thinking about how I was a winner then. But what was I talking about?
You were talking about, well, the question was how COVID has affected the activities of CAAN and everything. Yeah.
And so, but actually, and we found another way. We started doing these drive-thrus and pulling more people in. And if people watch me when we're doing events, I'm more the organizer, and other people in the community come and they work the events.
Right.
Because I do have a lot of underlying health conditions, and I shouldn't even be out there, And so what I do is I organize, we do the Zoom meetings, and then people come from the community that want to volunteer and give back.
Right.
And with that being said, we like to encourage a lot of the younger generation, to get involved in and teach them, and that's something that's under my tutelage. I love children, and to be able to have them to see this, even during COVID. And it goes back to the graduation parade. During COVID, we would have never thought of to do a drive-through, graduation parade. But during COVID, you had to change up, what you do. We did food pop-ups over in Martin Luther King Park.
Yep.
That's normally where we would do our different events at.
Which is Farnsworth.
It's Martin Luther King Park on Farnsworth and Grand Boulevard.
Grand, that's right.
Right,
That's the
one block down from Burger King.
Right.
We do a lot of events there in the 7th Ward. So what we end up doing was food pop-ups. And we would get the food, hats off to Interfaith Food Pantry, one of our partners.
Shout.
We would get food, the food boxes from them. We'd rent a U-Haul truck. Shout out to Christine from CAAN County Mascot, Aurora. CAAN County Mascot, because they would donate us masks, and she would help find people to donate the money to rent the trucks. Remember, we're just community-based. So even though we have the not-for-profit, We don't have a grant writer. So we lose out a lot because of that. They just did the quality life grant for the city of Aurora. Because myself, we don't have anyone to know how to fill out something like that, we lose out. And that's kind of sad because, again, I go back to those workshops. It would be great to see somewhere in the city where that they could do a workshop or seminars to help someone from a small organization like ourselves that we don't have grant writers, or do a class for grant writing classes or something. I'm gonna plug this free though, okay? Because we already don't got no money, but but so that's what's missing, that we don't have that opportunity. So with COVID, we've learned to do a lot of different things. Food pop-ups. We even did we called it a Kids Day, which would have been our indoor Halloween that we do. And we had Mickey Mouse. Our mascot is Dreamer the Squirrel. We allow people to work out their dreams. Know your dreams can always come true. And so we have our own mascot. And we had people that I met at Happy Thoughts Suicide Awareness Program over at Luigi's. Within like 4 days, decide on that day that, hey, we want to come out and be a part of your event. And so we had all these characters out there. The parents brought the kids and drove through, and we gave out big 1-gallon freezer bags of candy and stuff, all donated from the community. And
Wait a minute.
It was all donated.
Y'all gave children gallon bags of candy?
1-gallon bags of candy.
Man, y'all had to have the parents mad at y'all. I'm kidding.
Well, in those bags, we did have chips and juices, but I'm telling you though that just the love of that, and we had from Chi-Town, he was able to come out, and he has a what is it called? The photo booth.
You talking about the barbershop?
No.
Chi-Town barbershop?
No. This is an organization.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and they're actually out of Joliet.
Okay.
But he also has his own Photoshop. He came out free of charge. See, this is where that networking comes in at, because you have people that have small businesses, or we help them promote their businesses. They will come out in kind their services, and that's also helping promote their business. And so he came out and he did that for us. We haven't got the pictures yet, but he did that for us. And we didn't have to pay for that. So again, with that being said, with COVID, it brings a lot more unity. It's bringing more people together. It's allowing more people to network together. And that part right there, hopefully we can keep those networking, relationships after COVID, because right now, unfortunately, COVID is doing that, but we had a lot of losses.
What does America mean to you?
What does America mean to me? It used to mean the land of the free, and lately you don't feel that free anymore. And COVID has a lot to do with that too. So, but America, that we're in it. That's it. I don't have much to say what America means.
You said it used to be. When did it stop? When did it stop being to you?
When did it stop being? To be honest with you, I guess more that you learned about politics, it stopped being free. And that's just being honest.
What does America not understand about black people?
That could go hand in hand. What does America not understand about black people? Well, unless you live the life of a black man or a black woman, it's hard to even say that when you say, what does America? Because America is diverse. So it depends on who the person is and who you're looking at, at that time when you say something like that. So I can't answer what does America, I can't even really answer that question. I don't want to get political.
Why not?
I'm like, I don't want to get into politics, but because that's what that's really the problem with a lot of stuff. Once you add politics into it, people just seem to forget, about the life that we're supposed to live. Because now you're trying to make everything, you're trying to please this person or that person. You're trying to gain this or gain that, and you forget about the real morals, that we should be living up to. And so that's why I'm very neutral when it comes to politics. A lot of people, they don't like my methods or the way I think, the way I do things. And even, with you bringing that up, with the whole Black Lives Matter thing, boy, I got in so much trouble. to me, not in trouble, because I can't change who I am, about saying that all lives matter. And so many people get upset with me and say, well, how can you say all lives matter? Because, when these people, who are these people? Growing up as a child, I've always been diverse. In school, all of my friends that I could be with in school, because I couldn't have friends outside of school because mama said no, that they were all like Hispanic people, Caucasian people, and honestly, a lot of African-American people, they did the partying and everything, and they'd sit in class and be talking about that stuff, and I want to talk about books. So in school, I was a nerd. I mean, if you go back, I was a cute nerd, but I was a nerd, okay? He's laughing at me. But I say that because, I'm not being modest or nothing, but, like back then I wanted to get a mile and stuff. My mom didn't let me because I had to stay educated, and stay nurturing my family with her being gone. But people just, they forget about when it comes to politics. And let's go back to what I said about the whole not-for-profit. Some people get involved, for personal reasons, but to me, it has to be coming from that heart. If it's not coming from the heart like it used to.
Right.
I remember, what the United Way men and Salvation Army back then, we stood in those long lines, to get Christmas, whatever for our kids. I don't know what mama did, for us back then, because when the holidays came, as long as we had a meal, we had that dinner, that we were lucky we got one gift. Now people, they want to get 10 gifts, one child. I even tell my kids that, why you got to get them so much stuff at Christmas? They've been your kids all your life, all year long. Why does just Christmas mean you got to go out and spend all this money? And then afterwards, you're talking about, I ain't got no money because I spent all my money on the kids for Christmas. Why you spend all your money on the kids for Christmas? You got all year long to do that, So.
If you were mayor for a day,
Ooh.
what's the first change, or what's the first, change or action you would take here in Aurora?
If I was mayor for a day, wow.
Hold on, don't let people know you're there. No, I'm just playing. No,
I mean, I'm sorry.
We're on a plane. Come on now.
Like, if I was mayor for a day, first thing, I don't know the first thing about being a mayor. I don't know that. I mean, I don't. If really, I want to know. I mean, are people answering you on here while you're doing it? If I ran for mayor, would you vote for me? I don't know. I really, if I was mayor for a day, it's not much I could get done in a day with the mind I have. That's first of all. I probably would want to, if I was mayor for a day and it could be lasting, these programs I'm talking about, workshops and everything, I would sign that, I don't know, I'd sign it into law, if I could be able to do that.
City ordinance or whatever kind of thing.
Whatever it would take to do that, to bring with that more unity, I would do something like that, because if not, I know a mayor's job, he needs to bring, the money into the community, keep the city running, the revenue and everything. Talking to a person that I don't do a lot with money, so for me to run for mayor, or even for a day, I'd probably be the mayor that'd be out there giving money to everybody, so,
You would be that mayor.
Yeah, I'd be that mayor.
People will vote for you again. She throwing out $100 bills, y'all. We over here on Trask right now with the money.
Willie Wilson did it, so hey, why not? Hey.
Yeah. Mayor Fultz making it rain, y'all. What is Aurora's biggest strength?
Strength? To be honest, I would say the biggest strength in Aurora would be in the whole Aurora. Really, I guess I would say how we can come together in the midst of tragedy. I will say that. So we will come together, when that happens. Outside of that, that's an area we could grow on, for strength, that. But otherwise than that, it shouldn't take tragedy and stuff for us to come together.
It should not.
It should.
It should not.
Yeah, so we could be like that all the time. Oh God, we're the second largest city. They say that all the time. And there's so much more we can do. Me and someone, we had a conversation today about this, how there's so many programs in like Joliet, Bellwood, Chicago, our surroundings, even in Kendall County, so many different programs that we don't have here. you know. And so that would be some of the things that, you know, that's that I feel that's missing. We had the KDK program. We had programs that were entertaining our kids more than technology and things that are doing now. We don't have enough youth programs. We had the Grand Boulevard Center, Community Center that was there at the time. And so kind of when you go to, what do I think I was really getting into, doing those vacant lots and stuff, we didn't have a physical building, but it was a safe haven that was a community center. We just didn't have the walls. So we had a community center without the walls and bringing those kids in, and that's where the safe haven came in at. So I would just say that if we could get back to doing more with our youth, installing more good things into them while they're younger, because right now, technology, the kids just on the cell phones all the time and the computers, and now you got e-learning, you know, that's getting them more. Even if you didn't want your kids, you know, on the laptops and computers, they got to be on now for e-learning, and then they're sneaking off when they're supposed to be doing work, and they're still doing other things, because I got a grandchild that did that. Went for a whole week, we thinking she's doing e-learning, she has the other phone over there, and because you see the computer in front of them, don't mean that's what they're doing, right? So we have to do more things, you know, that are educational for our children, and raising them up so that they want to be doctors and lawyers, you know, that they want to be something more productive, you know, but we got to install it in them at a younger age. And so that would be my answer to that.
The show ends on a positive note. What is your message to the people of Aurora going into Wednesday today?
Going into Wednesday today. More unity. I'm going to look directly at the camera and say that. More unity. More of us loving and caring about each other. More of us coming together on one accord. And again, installing something in our youth, you know, even if we're adults or whatever. I don't know if I can say this right now.
You can say whatever you want.
Okay, so like with CAAN, and that's the organization. But with CAAN, we promote unity, love. Can I turn around? Can I stand up?
Yeah.
Will you still see me? Like on the back of my shirt, oh gosh, it says collaboration of love. And so that's
you gotta move your hair.
Can you?
Move your hair.
Oh, move my hair? Oh.
There it is.
Okay, it's a collaboration of love. And on our paperwork it says of love and unity. So if we could get more people that would love to come out and be a part of CAAN volunteering. We provide the platform for the giving, because we're givers over here. If you have an organization and you need volunteers and stuff, reach out. You know, we're more than welcome to come out. So that unity and that love, it means so much. And then if we're and kids, we love having the youth come out, being able to volunteer, like you said about your son. I'd love to have you and your son come together, you know, be able to volunteer. You know, that's a plus. But to talk about that turkey dinner, I'm gonna say this. That was a plug from Interfaith that same day.
Right.
I get a text that says, hey, we have 50 turkeys. We had asked, you know, in advance, because there were so many people that even though the city of Aurora gave out all the turkeys, that they didn't get to register because everybody didn't have computers.
Right.
So when we got to 50 turkeys, guess what? I didn't even have a turkey for myself. So that was, you know, a blessing that the city of Aurora did what they did, so that's how I got my turkey. And then when the Interfaith, you know, texted me and said that they had, you know, like these 50 turkey, you know, and it was the whole box, it's like, wow, I got all these families that are reaching out to me. So that meant so much to be able to make them, I had to call ahead because we only had 50. So you don't want to get like 150 people, you only got 50, because people get upset. You know, like when they have a need and you can't supply it, and like what you said, all of a sudden it's like, okay, now I have a turkey. You get 50, you get 100 people calling or just stopping by, you have none, and I didn't want any issues, so that's why I had people to call ahead to make sure that we still had them at the time. But yeah, come on over though. Can I say my phone numbers?
Sure. Okay.
I'm tickled here because I don't know what to say and what not to do. But anyway, so my phone number is 331-575-4630. If anybody would be willing to volunteer, be able to donate, we're doing the coat drive right now. We're going to be doing the Unity Dinner. Shout out to Pastor Thompson over on Kane Street. He's going to let us use his building so we don't have to be out in the cold like we were going to be. We're doing We're collecting toys and gifts for our holiday gift giveaway. We're collecting that also. For that, we have like about 60-something kids. And how that comes apart, the people that miss signing up for Marines Toys for Tots, shout out and blessings to Frank Gordon for the Marines Toys for Tots being able to be community-based. Because of Frank Gordon, meeting him at the Veterans Parade downtown Aurora one year, we were able to, not being a not-for-profit because you didn't have to be, we were able to start with Frank from his basement. Him and his wife Tony, they both passed away now, and they were veterans. And we were able to service about maybe 200 or so kids, and it went from 1 year from 200 or something up to 500. The last time we did the Marines Toys for Tots, we serviced up to 1,800 kids. And so now we don't do the Marines for Toys for Tots anymore because I was blessed to help other organizations, learn how to do the application process and learn how to do it. And if they weren't 501c3, we were able to, once you had to be, to teach people how to do that. Or Angie Coyer, now teaches people how to do that. You know Angie Coyer, right? Okay, she taught people how to do that. So now you have so many organizations, reaching out for the Marines Toys for Tots, that we fought back and I reinvented the wheel, even though God used me to be able to open that door for the community, that now there's so many families that contact me, or churches or social workers will send them my direction and say that, hey, do you know where these people can go because they missed this? And we open that up, and now we do our own toy drive and a holiday drive.
Unity and coming together. That's a good message.
Yes, that's
a
it.
good
Unity
message.
is key. And our thing is the number 2, together. Together we can do most anything. And unity is the key at the end of the day.
On behalf of the second largest city's first daily news show, we appreciate you coming on to tell us about the CAAN Network and everything.
Yes.
For the listeners, we hope that you guys have a safe, blessed, positive Wednesday today. We will see you guys back here tomorrow for another good show. And we're going to make sure that you guys get the information for the Civilian Review Board application process. And anything that Miss Mary here sends to us, we'll make sure to pass it out there as well. And follow CAAN Network on Facebook.
Yes.
So, on behalf of ourselves here, y'all be blessed, be strong and dedicated, and have a wonderful day.
And I'll see you in the neighborhood. Peace.
Peace.